talk with Cubby and Rafa a little bit about the series as well as the series we have coming up. It was really, I mean, the second game was fun, but that was a fun if you were a Cloud9 fan, sort of fun kind of game, Cubby.
One-sided is,
Yes.
I believe, the term for those. As, yeah, I think Shaden, one of the early interviews we have with him, I like how he feels like he's all business. And hey, I got to say, the business that C9 have been putting out in the Rift has been pretty good. Again, 9-3 since he got that whole roster up.
Yeah, it is definitely some good stuff. And that you can see the confidence too. Like, what do you think about the other team? Yeah, not the greatest, but Joy's Academy. I like hearing the players' thoughts about who they're going up against. And, on the day, like we've seen good things from Immortals in the past. I still think very highly of a lot of the players. But, on the day, Cloud9 was just the better team, Rafa.
Even the interview cemented was like the cherry on top. I mean, like, I love some straight up trash talk, and we've definitely had our fair share of trash talk from Academy players, but the best trash talk is where they say it straight face and just believe it. Like, Shaden was dead on, like, nah, team's trash. Like, I'm like, oh my god.
Absolutely no prisoners. And these are teams heading into this week as well. We're on record in terms of the games won and lost. So, that is some confident words. But now, moving on into our next team, I feel like this is one where there might be a lot of strong opinions on who might be good and who might be struggling just a little bit. It is Team Liquid Honda going up against Golden Guardians. It is no surprise that Team Liquid Honda has been top of the leaderboards, and no surprise that Golden Guardians are struggling to get off the ground a little bit, Cubby.
Yeah, let's see. TL sitting at 15-5. Golden Guardians sitting at 4-16. Not great, but I think it's interesting in the GG camp as they have some changes coming out of the break week. And we'll see if that's what they need to kind of get the spark to get moving the split.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Before we get diving into the rosters of the team, though, we actually have a little clip hearing Spawn's thoughts about this mid matchup.
And the battle of the host mid laners in Academy is always like really entertaining to watch, I think. And I think there's also some pretty healthy banter / rivalry between Ryoma and Harry as well.
Right, all right. Healthy banter, healthy rivalry, and a little spoil of what's to come with the Golden Guardians roster. But let's go through this Team Liquid roster first. I mean, Team Liquid Honda, you've already said the record, Cubby. This team has been absolutely cracked. This bot lane is one that every time I see Ayla's names, I think of Joshi. Just, oh my god, Ayla's literally the best player ever. But across the board, this is just a strong roster.
Top to bottom, this team is rock solid, and it always feels like they're greater than the sum of their parts. And I really feel like this team, we just, like, even as a broadcast, we set this team to a different expectation that we set to really the rest of the teams that we have in Academy. Because they won last split, it's the same 5 players, and they are that good. They're a team that, you throw them in the LCS, they're not taking 10th place. And I think seeing them continue their performance, no matter what the meta is, no matter what curveballs are thrown at them, they're still on top of this league. And it's going to take someone to really overthrow them until we change the narrative on that.
Yeah, I mean, Rafa coming back from Wild Rift experiences, seeing Team Liquid Honda on top, I feel like that has to be not too much of a surprise for you.
Yeah, I think if you win Proving Grounds and you don't change your roster, your expectation is maintaining first place for the entire, if not the majority of the split, right? And yeah. I think one of the biggest things for Team Liquid as well is when we first watched this roster come in for Spring Split, the only change that they had made back then was putting Bradley in, because Dokla had been swapped over to CLG. Jenkins had been promoted to CLG LCS. So now, this is the time where Bradley already had a full split under his belt. There's no changes. Bradley has really come into his own. I don't think he's the best top laner in the Academy, but he is definitely a strong contender now as he is making strides, role swapping from mid back from his amateur days last year. So honestly, there's just so many things that we have already set expectations for, as Cubby has said, for Team Liquid. I think, especially in a matchup against Golden Guardians, even with the cool Summer 2021 Proving Grounds rematch, and as Spawn talked about the Oceania mid laner duel, I still think that this is a series where Team Liquid, they should only expect to take dubs, and then the challenge is how clean can you make these dubs pan out.
Yeah, and I mean, as Spawn talked about, a big part of what we're going to be looking at today is going to be this mid lane matchup. And first off, we're going to start talking about Harry and what he can accomplish here in Academy. And Cubby, tell us why this is someone that we're looking at. I mean, we already know Spawn's take on it, but with these clips, tell us why we're looking at Harry just even on the analyst desk.
I mean, I feel like it's appropriate that the first game we see Ryoma back in Academy, where I have to throw in the preemptive, like, why was he ever not in Academy?
True.
I still, that is still a head scratcher to me, but it's appropriate the first match is against Harry, because the history these two players have, not only in this region, but also in the Oceanic region. This really was the rivalry. The discussion was, who is the better mid laner in Academy between Harry and Ryoma? That was the conversation that we've had for the past few splits. We were robbed of that conversation this split because Ryoma, wasn't on the Academy team for whatever reason. I know Harry's someone that we haven't talked about a ton, but I feel like Harry, especially in lane, has been playing very well. And it still feels like Harry to me, when Harry's on a melee champion, I think a lot of mid laners just have trouble dealing with it. He is leading the league in laning stats. I think Harry's play in lane is rock solid. The biggest criticism I have of Harry, and Yon as well, is that sometimes in these team fights, they just aren't quite patient enough. Sometimes they pick their spot too early and they get punished. That's really what I'm looking forward when it comes to them improving. But also, this team plays from ahead and is ahead so much that oftentimes they can get away with those things. So I think that, again, we hold this team to a different standard. And I'm really curious now if we can hold Harry to the highest standard that we can as he goes up against his old buddy, his old rival in Ryoma.
Yeah, and that'll be a fun one to watch. Let's pull up the Golden Guardians roster because, I mean, Rafa, we talked beginning of the show that, there's a couple things that are, a little different, a little unresolved. And when we get to the roster of Golden Guardians, I feel like that's where we really start to see that one coming through here.
Yeah, I remember, I think a joke was thrown around that this was the coach's team because Acadian, coming off of the Academy head coach role from Spring Split, actually stepping in and now being the jungler. Choose was the positional mid lane coach, but obviously because they're waiting for leader to come in, Choose had been stepping in for the role most of the time. But this week, it is going to be Ryoma for the mid lane roster. But the other big one, I think this is Prismal stepping into the support role for Golden Guardians Academy for the first time. Not necessarily in the support role, but just for Golden Guardians.
Yeah, with LCS taking all of Academy players, so this is a roster that definitely took part of that hit. But with Shy moving on and Prismal coming in place before we keep going on our mid lane matchup, what do we really expect to see out of this role, Cubby?
So I know that some of the Ryoma clips we have, there's actually one Prismal highlight from Amateur that's pretty nasty that we were able to squeeze in there. But I think that both of these players, they have been able to compete in the amateur circuit with Jake's Kittens. Unfortunately, Jake strays now, as Kangas ever so coined, as they are no longer competing in amateur, given the fact that two of their players were promoted. But Ryoma is someone that this player has so much history in Academy. I really feel like he was the best mid laner that we had last split, and historically has been one of the best mid laners. I am really curious, though, to see how Prismal performs, because Prismal is someone that I think laned fantastically well in the amateur scene, where bot lanes are weaker, but Prismal has always been someone that is known for being a leader in comms as well. I think the role swap to support is very natural for him, and we get to see some of his mechanics in this clip. It is a Ryoma highlight, but also Prismal. Watch the second bubble he hits, as this is just nasty on the Nami. Is able to really chain it up here, stops munching his tracks, turns it around. And I think that some of the potential that we have for Prismal as a support, we've seen role swaps be very successful when they do go to support. Prismal has the intangibles that you look for when you're looking at supports. And I want to see if Prismal can really utilize the hands and his intangibles, figure out the role, and excel.
And I want to jump in on that because in talking with Jake, for the past 2-3 splits of him bouncing around Academy teams, whether it was CLG Academy last split and then Golden Guardians Academy for the entire year of 2021. Prismal always felt like he had all the right leadership qualities and all the right ways to think about the game, but trying to play it from a marksman role can always be difficult because you are the person that has to make sure you are focusing and making sure every micro decision is correct, and you have to give a lot of your vocal power over to the rest of the team and trusting that they're the ones taking over. But now with this role swap to support, this is a more natural fit to Jake's strengths overall. So I don't want to take away from the expectation that Golden Guardians are gonna have a chance, because Team Liquid, best team, no changes. This is still insanely Team Liquid Academy favored. But for Golden Guardians, if they can find cool moments to build off of, that's a win for them.
All right. Well, before we get into things too, I mean, we get to hear our thoughts, and we get to touch in with a little bit with our players to hear their thoughts on this mid lane matchup and Harry in particular. Let's check this out.
I'll say shout out to my mid laner. I think he's been playing pretty insane recently. Big reason why we're getting some of our wins, or like still being able to compete in the game, especially game 2. His silence was very nice. So shout out to Harry.
I think ultimately, I just offer more to my teammates. I think I can generate my own leads and I can give them back to my team. I just think that's pretty much the game flow in general. I just feel like I can create my own leads without relying on anyone else and giving it back to my teammates, and yeah.
Right. All right. I love always seeing when there's a rivalry how things are going to be panning out in a match, because, you know, Team Liquid Honda, they have been this dominant force. And do I think realistically going into this matchup that Golden Guardians are all of a sudden going to upset that? No. But I am intrigued if maybe they can be taking down this mid lane, or what strides they can do against Team Liquid Honda to show that they are out here to play. The champ select is ready though, so we don't have to wait too long. I'll catch you two on the other side.
Catch you on the flip side, Sierra. See you at the end of the game.
The flippity flop.
Flippity floppity. Hippity hoppity. Boom. Oh yeah, West Rice is back in. I miss seeing West Rice, man.
More changes. You just keep on reminding us that you're back, Rafa.
Yeah, because I think when I came into Academy 2000, when we came in, I think West Rice was still coaching C9. Yeah. So it's good to see him back in the Academy system. I've always liked talking to West Rice, but now we're in the pick and ban phase. A couple things you mentioned, and I think it's super cool for this mid lane matchup as well, because we're no longer in the spring split. And we're in this meta, we're kind of returning to almost last year in the summer, where you're talking about a lot of the melee champions are popping back up again. It's not the Lee Sin mid lane that we saw dominate, which
Harry's Lee was nasty.
Harry's Lee Sin was so filthy,
it was
man.
so good.
It was so good, man.
Not the case, but we do see some different bans, some more variations. I think notably the Zeri. Yon is known for Zeri. 5-1 on the champ this split too. We didn't see that show up in the last series, but I think appropriate here. And also paying some respect to Harry's LeBlanc. We praised his laning. He's always been fantastic in LeBlanc, getting leads in lane and then getting out of lane with that. With all those picks taken off the board, it's actually going to be a first pick Kalista. So one of the differences between TL and C9, C9 was prioritizing that Lucian in the last series. This time around for TL, going to be that Kalista.
To return to a little bit of a 100 Thieves next shout out for Yon. Kalista, one of the few champions that he would pick back in the day alongside Ezreal, Ashe, and Senna.
Ooh, and honestly, we could see Senna Wukong be a legitimate flex here for the side of GG, as Wukong did talk about how the jungle was nerfed a bit. It's very good in the Kalista though. And if you remember, Rafa, back when Prismal was playing Marksman for Golden Guardians with Newbie, he was playing Wukong bot.
Yep.
So this
Senna.
is a legitimate flex here for GG. We also set up the Volibear being so strong in this patch.
We did.
It will be the lock-in for Armeo.
Yeah.
He is 4-0 on the champ so far this split. I think that I would not be surprised if we see something like Trundle locked in here to play into the Volibear. Instead, it's just Senna Kench. No Wukong flex. I'm a little bit bummed, but it will be a very 12-12-esque look here.
It could still be a Wukong flex, just not.
We're not. Yeah, it would go top. It would go top.
Yeah, it would go concept.
Concept's way to top. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get too crazy here, Rafa, but we'll see as we have junglers and bot sides locked in for both teams. Expect a lot of bans to be thrown now at the mid lane, as we expect Golden Guardians to potentially blind that. One of the powerful parts about having Concept on your roster, though, he's never afraid to blind his champion, and oftentimes because he has success on tanks. Usually we do see him blinding his champion, so we'll have to see what the move is here for GG.
Golden Guardians are already taking away answers that they would not want to have for, I'm assuming, Concept in the top lane. The Akali is something that Bradley has excelled on even during the spring split for Team Liquid, especially during the Proving Ground stage. A Jax ban, though. So this, to me, that is Team Liquid saying, we don't necessarily think that Wukong is going to be in Concept's hands.
Could be setting up Camille, potentially, for Bradley. We have seen Jax emerge also as a few different picks. Concept played it in the Tryndamere. Jax being picked in the Tryndamere is pretty good. We will have to see what the move is. It is important to note, Golden Guardians, they did drop their 5th ban. They did not submit the correct roster in time. So the penalty for that, you saw choose on our graphics, that was submitted. Golden Guardians will lose their 5th ban for having a Ryoma play. Yeah.
Crunch time gets the best of us every now and then. Team Liquid looking for their last ban. Will it be another top laner? It is the Concept Singed Respect ban, as he made a name for it over on Immortals and still gaining the respect on Golden Guardians.
Bradley wants Gwen. That's both Jax and Singed are good into Gwen. Those 2 bans tells me that's really what Bradley's thinking about here. We could maybe see an Ornn. Of course, Azir is blinded by Ryoma, champion that's very strong in this patch. I was telling you about it before our games today, Rafa, how Azir can really pump out the damage late game because he can't get one shot nearly as easily in the later stages. But Harry's counterpicking to it. It has been the Yone. He is 3-0 on this champion. We showed the highlight earlier. Harry on melee is always exciting. Good to see him bust that out here.
Let's go, baby. Now, Bradley could double down.
Gwen. It's Gwen Gaming. That's what I'm expecting, at least.
That's not a Gwen. But, you know, one thing that we have learned, never to be debated by hovers. And
okay.
It's actually, you know what? I respect this because this could still be a blind pick, right? That this could still be a Wukong flex to Acadian. And you don't want to necessarily give too much up. Whoa.
It's a Concept champ pool. I expect Concept to go for the Aatrox. I think Aatrox is really good this game, actually.
Mostly melees, and then the only ranged champion is Kalista, which is pretty short range. Yo, Nasus would slap! Nasus will slap! And you look at this. I have been waiting to see a Nasus game, especially with the rise of Kalista. You walk up to her, you wither her. What is she supposed to do? She can't function.
It's a Concept pick. The funny thing is, Rafa, Bradley actually played Nasus top earlier this split.
I missed
Concept.
it?
Yeah, he didn't play it. But Concept, this is a champ where your Kalista and Yone Wither is valuable. You get a free lane into the Gragas. You will get shoved in early. You can't get punished, but in the split, in the mid game, I think that's really where Golden Guardians is looking to strike, playing out the 4-1, trying to make their mark in the mid game, because Nasus, he is a mid game champion. I will stand by that.
Yeah,
you are strongest when you first leave lane, like past 20 minutes.
Yeah. Once you hit level 9, you have max rank into your Siphon Strike, and you have the highest cooldown uptime on it. And I think you there's like an ability haste like milestone you're supposed to hit, where Nasus is like insanely strong. But you know what?
I'll talk about some Nasus.
We'll get into it once we get into the game, which is right now.
Yeah, Nasus is definitely a favorite of mine because I have no hands, so I can play Nasus.
Down horrendous.
I hit GM. It's fine. But we do have... is that Kitty Nasus? It's the Space Nasus with the cats on it.
Space Groove Nasus.
Very classy choice from Concept.
Hell yeah. Dude. That's such Giga Chad status right there.
So I think the game plan here for Concept, I expect to see a Divine Sunder from him. And it's about, again, trying to get as filthy huge in the side lane as possible. Then in the fights, you just wither Callista. And it did force Yawn to take the cleanse, which does have some value going up against Senatime Kench, but not as much as the heal. So Yawn is playing safe for that, making sure that he can function in the later stages of the game. We did talk about the plan for GG, I think, on the side of TL. Get Harry ahead.
Yep.
Harry can really break this game, as it's a good lane matchup into the Zir. We'll see what Harry can do if he is able to get one of those leads that, again, he has been so good at in lane. He is really leading the league in laning stats, averaging a 344 goal differential of 15. That's the highest at all mid laners.
Damn. That's pretty good.
And good.
Well, good stuff from Harry. I know Spawn has been, even when we met him before Proving Grounds, was talking about how you guys don't give enough love to my boy, Harry. And you know, that was a terrible accent impression. I don't even think I got the accent out, so we're just going to roll on.
Your jet
past.
lags,
Yep.
brain lag, that's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happens. But yeah,
To the best of us.
Spawn, very, very vocal and a huge advocate for Harry getting more credit where it's deserved. And I'm glad to see that Harry is showing it and proving it in the stats as well. So that even if you don't get to see the games on paper, you can always check back in the books and see that Harry is indeed killing it.
Ryoma Zir, always been a specialty pick of his as well. As, again, good to have Ryoma back. Choose did an honorable job stepping in, as he had a tough ask, not playing competitively since Season 8, being a coach for this team. Ryoma, though, slotting in now. See how he can do this week. Leader's visa is important to note. Did get approved.
Yeah.
So I believe that Ryoma's here until Leader is able to get in. We will see what ends up happening in the Golden Guardians camp, but worth an update. And then, until then, I'm going to enjoy my Ryoma time. As I feel like I've been robbed of it this split Academy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's always a good time to see Tommy Lay on the Academy stage, as that's a huge trade. Forces Array, one of the new members of Golden Guardians as well, and one of the new members to Academy coming up from 100 Thieves next.
Array, Prismal getting pushed around a bit. And then, of course, this is a bot lanes where synergy is very relevant. Array, Prismal, up to a tough task in their first stage game, where it is the best bot lane that we have in Academy.
Yeah.
Yeah, not easy.
Yeah, you know, I think this is their first stage game together, if I'm not mistaken. And already Team Liquid are using their bot lane prowess to full fruition, getting Armeo the ability to invade Acadian's jungle. Acadian was able to sneak away the crab here, at least as consolation prize. Golden Guardians making sure that he can roam on over Harry. Should be fine here. Acadian has no way of being able to lock him down. Armeo walking on over. And depending on the way they play this mid lane out, can they bully Acadian off of the crab?
Acadian actually was able to leech level 4 experience. And I think you will just see this over to Armeo, as will be full clears resuming for the jungler. But honestly, the fact Acadian lost one camp and got a crab out of that, not the worst thing in the world for him.
This could be a far more brutal matchup here. We already talked about how Volibear pretty much stat checks every other melee jungler in the game on this patch. So the fact that Acadian's been able to dodge out on those skirmishes and those encounters, and he's farming up somewhat evenly, it's good for Golden Guardians, because you talked about how the point for this composition is to get to the mid game, where Concept will be at the strongest, Array and Ryoma will be decent, but Concept and Acadian will be the bridge that gets them through the mid game and hopefully into the late game, where Senna and Azir will be online and will have enough damage output to rival, if not outpace, Team Liquid's. So Team Liquid on the flip side, they have to be the ones accelerating the game. And we know that from the spring split, Team Liquid are usually quiet in the first few minutes of the game, but once the first objectives start to spawn, boom, it's go time.
And much like last split, this split, they are leading the league in gold differential at 15. Averaging being up 1,940 gold. That is pretty damn good. So TL looking to continue their winning ways, which really comes through lane dominance. Playing that out as a squad, as so far, I will say, they haven't been able to win significantly on anything yet, but Armeo is up in the face of Acadian already. And this hurts.
Yeah, well, he dodged out on the electric part of the
Ryoma
damage.
has 6.
Armeo might actually be caught out here. He has flash available, tries to flash, but Ryoma, beautiful patience with the divide, pushes Armeo right back into the waiting arms of the Golden Guardians, but however, Armeo's got reinforcements from the rest of the Team Liquid squad, and it's a fat dub as they take out Ryoma, looking for more. They find Acadian on the backside. Array and Prismal can't do anything to salvage it.
In that play, Armeo winning out, that is a bot lane differential there from TL. They had the wave crash. Prismal had to catch it. Array was the only one that could respond. That's why Armeo was able to get up in the face of Acadian again. Try and go for the wolves. Try and go for the crabs. As TL utilized the priority that they drafted in lane, or before the games, established in the lane, and then we're able to transition that into the jungle as Armeo off to the races.
Already.
It's textbook.
2 kills over for Team Liquid. The kills have gone beautifully over to Yon and Harry, who are the mid-game carries that are going to be the ones that need to accelerate the game pace for Team Liquid. And do we even have a chance? Oh, yeah. So, like, this is great from Ryoma.
I mean, look at Prismal, though. He's under his turret. They're down a man. And when the handshake connects from Awa, Ryoma's dead. There's nothing that he can do anymore, as everyone just has to run for the hills. Acadian's down a level. GG's down a man. Array's down 2 levels to the rest of the bot lane. It's really just the early game differential that TL drafted for. TL were able to execute upon. Continue to snowball that into the bot side jungle of Golden Guardians. They get a big win, and now they're off to the races.
First dragon on the board for them as well. Just under 8 minutes of the game, 15 seconds before the Rift Herald spawns. And Array, good timing, protects Ryoma from a potential dive, as Armeo did have the ulti available. Don't tell me they're going to actually still go for it. The root from Array prevents Armeo from getting in range, but Ryoma was definitely sweating a little on that one.
They thought about it, but I think Armeo is going to return to his camps as they are all back up. The one saving grace here for Golden Guardians, that 5-pick Nasus.
Yep.
It's off to a good start. Got some early ability haste. Stacking up those Siphon Strikes. 159 at the moment as our observers pan over it. You can see Concept just wailing on the Fat Man. Stacking up best he can. That was a limerick right there, Rafa. Not bad.
Oh, okay. I was like, what is Cubby doing here? What are you?
I don't know.
You going for?
It wasn't a limerick. It just rhymed. I'm trying to be cool.
That
it's been a long time since I've seen you, man. I got to try and impress you.
Don't worry, Cubby. That was very cool. Very cool.
You can leave whenever you want.
And that Concept, as you're talking about, just stacking up grasp stacks, getting those Siphon Strikes as well, trying to become that mid-game beast. I'm glad that you have that opinion about Nasus, because I know Josh has also been a huge advocate.
Yes, this is Josh's opinion established that I very much agree with, as someone that, again, if you want to win solo queue games for free, if you ever see a blind Kale, pick Nasus. It is unplayable. I promise you that is free elo. It was even played in LPL. And it won.
I think I actually remember seeing something on Twitter about that matchup. And I was like...
Ashley King was real high in it. Shout out to Ashley King. Horizon Esports.
GOAT status.
Good content.
Yeah,
good content.
Ashley, GOAT, Queen, and everything.
And resident Nasus enjoyer, which we always appreciate.
Doge champ. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We're about a few seconds away from 10 minutes where nothing really is going to happen, but we're already past the most of the early game in the laning phase. The second dragon is coming up in 2.5 minutes here. So Golden Guardians, this is where they're coming into that mid game that we were teasing a little bit, especially for Concept. He just hit level 9. He's going to have max rank on his Siphon Strike. So whenever he decides he wants to pop Fury of the Sands, go all in on the big Doge, this is where he can really shine.
I think it's also worth pointing out... oh, boy, hold on.
Oh, well, he's forced to pop it. Bradley punts him in. Oh, but does he have enough mana? I don't think he does. Concept...
He dodged out on the slow.
Yeah.
No mana. You can see the dog, though. He's a furious one. He's able to get going.
Even in that Space Groove suit, he is terrifying.
There is no TP. Oh boy, Ryoma.
Oh, well, Harry goes back. It's an ulti for ulti. Array even using the Dawning Shadow just to make sure that Harry doesn't get the Soul Unbound Deathmark damage off of the pop.
So we have talked quite a bit about the backdoor win condition for Golden Guardians being this Nasus. Very good into TL. And should be able to win the side lanes. But for Golden Guardians in these team fights, their DPS comes from this Azir. And Ryoma has been set so far behind by Harry, by Team Liquid. It's been a team effort from them, playing around Armeo's Volibear. It's going to be really tough for Golden Guardians to contest any of these objectives coming up here, Rafa. I mean, I expect this Dragon to go over for free for TL. It's going to take like 10 minutes for this to, like, in reality, be an option for Golden Guardians to actually have the damage to have one of these fights.
Yeah, just under 1,200 gold ahead for Harry individually. That is off of the kill, the first blood, and of course the extra assists in that jungle quadrant. Ryoma trying to do his best to salvage Acadian in the jungle, but also at the price, cost his life and his tempo and his potential to be able to answer back in Harry. Team Liquid setting up this Rift Herald.
That's first break.
Yep. I mean, this is textbook Team Liquid. The best bot lane in Academy is able to pressure Array and Prismal off, getting enough turret plate gold. Armeo is able to comment with the Rift Herald, and now they have unlocked the bottom side of the map just in time for the second dragon to spawn.
And it's a 4K gold lead. They want the second crash. Ayla.
That's a flash from Prismal. That's not good. Yeah, well, respectful, but also Golden Guardians just losing more and more pressure here. Team Liquid gaining control of the map.
While this is going on the bot side, Concept is pushing, believe it or not, as Acadian not able to get in there.
Oh,
Second
man.
Dragon falling. It's 4K gold lead for TL. This is a pretty dire game. The only option that GG has to try and funnel Nasus the best they can is Bradley's trying to clear out the lane so he doesn't get dove. TP coming in.
Okay, but the Concept is the one taking up the turret damage down, so Acadian's got to finish off.
Oh,
but
Bradley.
Concept was pushed back in by Bradley. Beautiful explosive cast, punting him back in so that Harry can get the trade-off.
Very well played by Bradley. Someone that, Bradley for us, he's always been fantastic during the team fights. But it really is the laning, his map awareness in that role swap where we have asked to see improvements from Bradley. That was a really nice moment from him. I know he went down, but even if Harry didn't TP there, he was able to trade out 1-for-1, play that out very cleanly, very intelligently. Good to see that game awareness from Bradley really shining.
Building up from the foundation of Bradley, starting off, making his top lane debut competitively for Team Liquid last split, coming off of a role swap from mid lane where, if you follow path to LCS and all other amateur splits, it was that wildcard roster, the best amateur team during the summer, and Bradley in this 1v2, you said it all, Cubby.
So the first cask actually hit Acadian and slowed him. That bought Bradley the time to fully clear out that wave and outplay Concept. That was actually really, really clean from the side of Bradley. Maybe Harry needed to connect that W as what's that tree that Concept gets? Triumph.
Yeah.
The Triumph proc was coming in. So maybe you needed Harry, but either way, well played by Bradley is Harry.
I think Harry needs someone. He needs a hero. He's been isolated in a 1v2. Good pickoff from Golden Guardians. And not sure what Harry was doing out yonder there, but maybe just lost track of where Acadian and Ryoma were.
I think he was trying to rotate to help his top lane, but yeah, just got out-rotated. As we can see, Concept, those Siphon Strikes, 336 stacks,
Holy.
level 11.
And Divine
They're
Sunder.
hitting hard.
Yeah.
This is Nasus.
This is, what is it, 10% max HP as additional damage on top of it as well? I mean,
It is 6 on Divine Sunder.
Oh,
I only know that because they just nerfed it to range for 3. So, or changed it.
Oh, okay. We have 10% on Wild Rift. It's
God bless Rafa. Did you go and study abroad?
I did.
How many countries did you go visit?
Well,
How many Polaroid pictures do you now have hanging in your bedroom?
Well, actually, Dagon
Of your
is the
time
one.
abroad.
Dagon is the one that had the Polaroid camera.
Oh,
He's
of
got all the
course.
Polaroid
Okay,
pictures.
of course.
Yeah.
That's classy from Dagon. I respect that.
Hell yeah. It was, honestly, I loved hanging out with Dagon a lot. And it was the most actually got to know him as a person. So I have a lot more respect for him, both as a working professional and as a person. So shout out to D-Gon. Hope you're enjoying your time in the Philippines.
One of these days, we'll get the Rafa podcast. We'll get to catch up on all good things while Rift. But at the moment, got to catch up on this Rift throw being taken by TL, as all the neutral objectives have gone in their pockets so far, Rafa. And GG just don't have the strength yet to answer. I will say that kill going over to Azir, important for Ryoma, that he is not as far behind. You can still see how difficult it is for Ryoma to be in these side lanes as Hormeo's looking to attack.
This is either a flash or he's dead. I'm calling it.
It could ult. Oh, yep, there's the flash.
All right, there's the flash. Fury of the Sands, though. Concept is a big bull, and that's a big dog. Armail got to run for that one. The Divine Thunder plus the Siphoning Strix, and Ayla might be in big trouble, but Jan's got the Fate's Call, so he bails out his homie, and they walk on out safely.
Get over here, buddy. I'll save you from the pup. Has, unfortunately, the Beware of Dog sign does not apply to that fence that is the Krug wall. Is able to get him out of there. Nice and safe. His Concept is going to continue to farm. 400 stacks here. Actually, Concept at a pretty good pace in terms of how he's stacking up.
Yeah. 400 stacks.
500 by 20 is usually the goal.
Correct. Yeah.
Baseline. He's doing pretty damn good. He's at the 420 mark right now. 17 minutes, not bad. Look at him go. Now watch him hit this turret. Here we go. This is the camera we need. This turret's
combined
dead.
with the Demolish stack. Boom! Oh my god. It's tasty.
He doesn't have ult though, so he's really dead. But
You know
it's an
what?
objective bounty.
Objective bounty secured. Hashtag W. Hashtag worth. Concept is not living for long though. And
now that looks like my Nasus gameplay.
Are you also on a team that is struggling in terms of gold deficits at that point?
Yeah, no, I know
You're
it's
just
like my D4 solo queue special.
Damn.
Just pick Nasus and blast music.
Head empty, no thoughts, only good vibes.
How many stacks can I get? The true reason Nasus is awesome.
Well,
no, Concept doing his job. He's trying his best, but TL, no signs of slowing down here. That's going to be mid-outer. And dropping second Rift to take the third Dragon. Emily Rand would be thrilled utilizing second Rift to take Dragon.
Yep.
Control for TL as now Armeo.
Yeah, because Golden Guardians now are pretty desynced
TTP.
on the entrances here. Arcadian already forced to use the Cyclone just as a way to retreat. Ayla's been called up here. No Fate's Call available to bail him out this time. He tries to flash away, but Arcadian comes back in with the second cast of the Cyclone and punishes Team Liquid, now down one half of their bot lane. Bradley, does he have the angle here? Looks for a Ray, blows him up. Bradley, can he buy him enough time? Flashing over the wall, disengages from the fight. He can look to re-engage from the other side of the pit now.
Bradley should base and TV back. I don't know if he has enough time, but he's very low in the health bar. There's no ult. Bradley being where he's at the moment, not too useful as Harry fishes, doesn't connect.
Armeo trying to walk up, trying to be the front line for Jan and Harry here. There's still the ultimate from Harry. If he can find it, it would be massive. You have to take out Ryoma, and you have to be careful about Concept. Oh, good God! Concept just bonks Armeo in the head, completely takes out the bear. Hope Peter's not watching, because we're seeing animal violence on the Rift, ladies and gentlemen. Jan on the run, trying to kite away, but this is the special. The Wither slowing him down. Harry forced to use the ult to retreat, and the rest of Team Liquid are on the run as Golden Guardians win the fight and take the third dragon.
You know what we're learning about Concept this game, Rafa?
What's that?
He's got that dog in him, man.
Yeah!
He's breaking out the dog, taking down the bear, making sure the Golden Guardians get their first neutral, really big fight for GG, and I like the fact that he gave the kill to Ryoma. Again, Ryoma's going to be the DPS damage they need, and Ryoma does an excellent job of staying safe. Look at his positioning here. The explosive cast does not connect. Uses the Emperor's Divide to buy himself space, gets out so much damage on the back half, and that is just all about buying time for GG. And while they buy time, they have the health bar advantage. TL push a little bit too hard, get punished.
Honestly, just really, really good moment from Concept. And also presence of mind from Acadian to be able to re-engage on the fight despite already having to use the first cast of the Cyclone, committing onto the backside, making sure that there's no Ayla in this fight. And just look at this damage. Boom. Just...
That's a bonk.
Yeah, Armeo stepping too far forward. I mean, wants to be able to contest for the third dragon, but when you are getting cornered by Ryoma and Concept like that, it is just so damn difficult. But Team Liquid, now that they have all 5 members here, can they look to regain control of the momentum of the game that they had already established for themselves, pushing Golden Guardians away from the control points of this jungle quadrant?
I feel bad saying Concept has that dog in him when he is playing Space Groove Nasus that has all the cats, but, you know, I'm a dog person, so we're going to stick with it.
You know what?
Maybe Concept's the person that might have 7 cats.
The wordplay was there.
Hold on.
Oh god, Ayla gets bonked by the bonk
That's
stick.
an Acadian bonk.
Yeah, that's the Acadian monkey stick, and he's bonked him back to the fountain. Bradley's been completely cut off by the rest of the members. Good explosive cast, spaces him out. Prismal is going to look to hunt him down now. If he finds the tongue lash for the slow, Bradley dies, but Bradley gets out, is able to dodge it, and now is buying space.
TP.
Meanwhile, on the other side, it's a TP from Harry. He's like, I'm sorry,
Armeo's
brother
dead.
Armeo. The walls are closing in, but not for me. I'm getting out of this one. Armail's got nowhere to run. He's been cut off by Prismal. A flash away. No way he gets out of this one. There's too many slows to devour from Prismal. Locks him down. Acadian takes the kill.
And Concept grouping with this Nasus in the mid game. It's been too much for TL. They aren't respecting it. They're overcommitting into the Nasus, and man, Concept's really been big in turning some of these fights around. Divine Sunder plus Frozen Heart.
Yeah.
It's too much for TL to deal with at the moment.
Huge hero moment, because when you consider the amount of sustained damage from the side of Team Liquid, it's all physical. And so the Frozen Heart, not only for the ability haste, but for the ability to just have the extra attack speed, slow.
Hold on. Love this.
Oh, but Team Liquid say, it's time to pull Hail Mary. We gotta push the tempo of the game.
They don't need a Hail Mary, but they saw Ryoma bot. And this is TL. Their ability to make calls, their team play, it's so good. Look at this.
Oh, but can they get...
off,
oh, no, they have to pull off 2200. And look, the Ray is leashing it down. So now it's going to come down to a smite fight. Acadian clutch with the smite, working beautifully with the Ray so that they can steal the Baron away from Team Liquid. A fumble in the works. And Cubby, I don't know if we jinxed Team Liquid today, but Golden Guardians with a sub-roster, Ryoma filling in before Leader comes in for next week, working with Prismo for the first time this week, and they are making it happen.
TL are just going too deep. They're trying to make too many plays. I think that they're really playing over-aggressive here. It's something that we have seen from TL in the regular season. Their phrase has been that, you know, the only person that can beat TL, they say, is themselves. And this does feel like a game where they're somewhat beating themselves, but how many times does this have to happen for us to start recognizing that maybe TL are just forcing too much, making some of these plays they don't have to make? This really is a game where you don't have to flip the Baron. Armeo is in base. It really feels like TL are just over their shoelaces trying to snowball this one forward, and there's no smite in the pit. Yes, you have Rent's stacks you can execute with Yawn, but Acadia wins out. Golden Guardians went out, and all of a sudden, that 4K gold lead that TL had 14 minutes into the game, it's gone. It is a 500 gold deficit for GG, and this Azir, the pick that was so important for Golden Guardians in the mid-game to be online, it is back online now. They were able to get gold into Ryoma. Very big as we approach this next dragon.
10 seconds away. 2 items for Ryoma, the Leandries into Demonic Embrace. A deadly combo for dealing a ton of sustained max HP shred damage on top of it, being able to whittle down the front line and Armeo, and then eventually the rest of the squad from Team Liquid. And because Concept is already such a big threat to members like Harry and Yawn, the only person that can potentially disrupt him is Bradley, but he does not do enough burst to take down Concept, and they seed this dragon fully knowing that Team Liquid needs some time to recover.
And while this is going on, Concept 576, and he is working towards that stone plate. So Concept is no one has damage to deal with Concept. It is way too much for the side of TL. I think the only thing that can deal with Concept is a really nice hostile takeover from Ayla. So if anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be Ayla on Renata. He's been filthy ever since this champion came out. He's been one of the best Renatas. He's a great Enchantress player that we have in Acad. He is the best player we have in the league.
You go back.
This is a game.
Yeah. You go back to the Proving Grounds final we just had in Spring Split. The game-winning play in that Game 5, it was Yawn and Ayla on the Zeri and the Renata. The hostile takeover completely warping the fight in their favor against 100 Thieves. Ayla has to find now a game-winning hostile takeover, or at least a couple to swing things back in Team Liquid's control.
We'll see. The other person has a big chance to step up. Harry was so good in lane, so good at making sure that he secured himself that lead. is still very big, but has been kept down by Concept, by GG. We will see if Harry, at the moment, is just off in the side lane. Concept is not matching. Concept's been grouping quite a bit more as he realizes his strength in the Nasus is very much needed for his team. Will return, but Harry was at least able to get something done during this Baron push for GG, which is now expired.
I think for Team Liquid, good recognition from Harry that at least when he sees Concept grouping with Golden Guardians, can find moments to split push, go back to the little bit of a 1-3-1 setup where Jan, Ayla, and Armeo are chilling in the mid lane, Bradley and Harry on the side lanes, forcing Golden Guardians to desync their group, and Deathball, 5-man machine that has been working so well and being able to turn the tides against Team Liquid in the past few minutes. If they can break Concept away from this group, that is another chance for Team Liquid to win fights.
And TL, our top dogs, have to take down the dog that is Concept in this game. As Concept, now with that stone plate completed, we are still a ways away from our upcoming Cloud Dragon, but Armeo.
Oh, this fight looks a little icky. Concept is still very tanky. Has only taken 50% of his HP. Hostile takeover does not land. Golden Guardians, and it's a beautiful 4-man knockup from Acadian, flashing right into the back line. That should set up for the rest of the pieces to fall. Ryoma shifting on over to the back lane, comes in with the Emperor's Divide, splits up the members of Team Liquid. Bradley and Ayla are sent floundering. And the rest of Team Liquid, they are just falling by the wayside. Punish after punish from Golden Guardians against Team Liquid's over-hastiness and over-aggression.
And Acadian with the turn. Callista, you can jump as much as you want, but not against Withers, not against the knockup. You can't cleanse Wukong all. You can only cleanse Wither once. And Concept TPing in. That turret melts to the dog. GG are going to take another. And GG, just like that. I mean, this was, again, a 4K gold lead for Team Liquid Honda. It's gone to the wayside against a team that is tied 9th that has roster changes. The Ryoma-Harry rivalry, man, it's something else. It's delivering this game. Because the way that GG has been able to turn this around, yes, it was mistakes from TL, but it is good play from Golden Guardians as well. This turn from Acadian was so good, Rafa.
Yeah, and just it's the patience from Golden Guardians. Everyone waits out the initial engage from the hostile takeover.
No hostile takeover.
And once they all bleed into the choke point, Acadian seizes his moment, jumps onto the backline, flashing for the Cyclone knockup, and it's just history from the rest there.
Good play coming out from Golden Guardians as I think Ryoma, Prismal, you know, this team has not gotten a lot of scrim time, but these are two players that have a lot of experience under their belts. Maybe some of that leadership, maybe some more direction for this team is what was needed. Their direction's been good this game. As Concept getting knocked around a bit, but he can heal up for free on the wave.
Yeah, he's got, what is it, like 20% lifesteal in his passive built in?
Yeah, I wish I knew his passive because there's like no text.
I think it's like Soul Siphon, but we got to fight this Baron here. The rest of Team Liquid trying to brute force their way. Hostile takeover actually will land on multiple people. Ryoma's doing damage to the rest of his team. Friendly fire has been turned on, but the rest of Team Liquid, can they turn on to the right side of the fight? Concept, ultimate from Harry, lands on the Concept, but he is still pretty darn healthy, sub 50% HP, but he's still a big dog to take down. Team Liquid don't get a chance to take down any members from Golden Guardians, but they have pushed them off and will force resets. And now Team Liquid, are they going to get punished here? We've seen this happen before, and Team Liquid say, okay, no. We're dropping it.
Like TL, they don't have to start the Baron there. They can back off. They could go fix waves, try and start the Dragon instead. Starting the Baron, that actually delays everything they want to do. Now Golden Guardians, because Ryoma TP'd back in, they have the health bars started again. They want to keep TL here. They don't want to allow them to reset, so here comes the Baron start.
And Armeo.
Oh, that's a big ult.
Okay, Harry, no ultimate this time around. Get some poke damage on that array. Forces Golden Guardians to retreat over to the top side of that pit. Baron has been reset. Team Liquid are looking for a reset of their own. Maybe they can walk over to the Dragon and claim a safer objective here.
Yeah, honestly, that was better for the side of TL. Like the fact they got on the reset and it came off that big cask from Bradley. This is a Gragas build that's getting a lot more popular in the LCK. Talked about Night Harvester on the Gragas, giving you more AP. You get the proc to passive more. They decrease the cooldown, but also that ability haste, mythic passive. Look at how much ability haste Bradley has. We get a chance to click on Bradley. His ult, that cooldown is less than 60 seconds once it hits rank 3. He's sitting on a filthy amount of ability haste. That cast is on a 3-second cooldown. It's pretty nasty here for Bradley. We will see if he can utilize that big cast to make big plays. TL's going to need it.
We're getting close to the point where Bradley is living out his Scara days, where you played AP Gragas in Season 3. Yeah.
Scar used the skin.
Yeah. The good old the fancy Gragas. What Esquire Gragas Esquire or Esquire Gragas?
Yeah, they changed the name. But yes, old fans will remember.
Dude, back when Gragas was an AP barrel sniper, you just chuck out your Q and R and it was instantaneous.
Yes, the 1.1 AP ratio was not that. That was pretty. I think it was 1.2.
Yep.
At one point.
Yep.
Jesus. That was actually the first champ I made.
Good time.
AP Gragas mid. Yeah.
Good time.
You could. There were some lanes you could start with E or W max and just auto them to death.
Yep.
It was awesome. Like you just level 1 W and you just auto them.
Yeah, you know me and Cubby are boomers when we're reminiscing about old AP Gragas back in Season 3.
Well, I used to pick the skin that I liked or used based on the pro players. So Gragas, I always use Oktoberfest because the recall animation is just way too good. But I remember like notable pros and like their skins as we'll get back to the game.
Yeah, our man knows something is up.
Bradley?
Concept right, we're trying to pull it up here. Bradley with the explosive cast already finds multiple damage members down, but our man gets completely deleted.
Ryoma.
And Ryoma from the left side of
combo.
the wall. The beautiful sweep cleans and sweeps up Team Liquid right off their feet. Harry's the only member left standing, and he knows he cannot contest at the Baron, so he's going to try to go for the mid lane turret instead.
And Golden Guardians, the way they've been able to play out this game, Rafa. Oh boy, this is going to be a fun 1v1. Check this.
Wither.
Bonk.
Okay, he's got the ulti, but he's still slow.
One bonk.
Harry, he's trying to get the
Two
Q
bonks.
cooldown so that he can find mobility. He can get to the blast cone and buy some distance away from Concept, but he's got so much ability
3
haste.
bonks.
Concept can perma put him into Wither jail. It's an ace for Golden Guardians. And boy, oh boy, Cubby, this was not the game state that we were expecting to see when we first came into the series.
Concept's making him feel the wrath, man. We don't usually see Concept get 5-pick, but he's putting that Nasus to good use as this fight, honestly, it's a good engage from Bradley. He finds 3 with a cast. Everyone's in the choke, but Ayla was never in position to have a great hostile takeover. Golden Guardians are split, and the important part, Harry wasn't here. So yes, it's a good engage from Bradley, but it is at the wrong time. The combo from Ryoma Prismo in the back half, so good to find the Emperor's Divide into the Tahm Kench knockup. And this is a team that looks like they've been scribbing for longer than they have. I know Ryoma and Prismo were playing on Jake's Kittens.
Yeah.
But Golden Guardians, I mean, they did not get a lot of practice time this week. The fact they're about to take down TL, game 1, we were not expecting this. 4K gold deficit for them at the 14-minute mark. Now they are poised to take a game off the top dogs with this new look. Good stuff from Golden Guardians, really surprising us and making good use of that break week.
Acadian and Concept being so darn
oh my god
damn efficient at making that mid-game bridge happen, punishing Team Liquid where they overextended, and Golden Guardians now taking that advantage fully into its own right. Ryoma's online, Array's online into the back line. The backliners are doing so much damage that Team Liquid, they're almost at a range disadvantage, which is really putting them at a deficit at being able to engage safely and being able to tangle with Golden Guardians as they have just walked into the base, taken out 2 inhibitors. They still have the Baron buff on their side. They can't walk to the top side because there's still a turret in the path before the inhibitor tower itself, but they have done enough. Damn, that's a lot of damage, Bradley.
The cooldown on that is like 40 seconds at this point, as we did just have our observers pan to it. Yeah, it's he can do that, and it's a heck of a poke.
Yep.
GG, still poised to take it. And what a story for Golden Guardians. Again, this team was struggling to start the split. They didn't pick up a win until the end of week 2. They got their first 2-0 against TSM at the end of week 3. Now to start off week 5 in the break week, again, Ryoma's back. Shout out to him. But it really feels like it hasn't been any individual standout. I think the Nasus was a nice counterpick, but this has been a team effort from Golden Guardians. And Concept picking the right points to leave lane as the Nasus, I think was really big in making sure that they end up taking this game as they look poised to.
That's definitely not your ordinary solo queue Nastness, because most solo queue Nasti I run into are selfish.
Nasti?
And yeah, like, you know, plural.
Come on, man.
I
Susan.
Whatever,
There we
Cubby.
go.
Golden Guardians pushing in what could be the last inhibitor of the game, the last inhibitor push and into the base, but there's been a Harry spotted over on the Dragon as he was trying to sneak it, but Acadian has the smite. He secures it. Harry wins the 1v1. Okay, wait. Can Team Liquid actually turn this one around without the Cyclone here? They've turned around onto Concept. Array has been distanced. He flashed over the wall. Concept is now in a 1-on-4 because Prismal can't get in there, but he's taking out Yawn. Is that enough damage down from the side of Team Liquid? They're trying to burn him down, but Concept, he finally gets burned down by Bradley, but Array has sustained fully back up. Armeo cannot deal with Prismal and Array by himself. He's calling on Harry. Harry was able to escape Ryoma's grasp, and they might be able to defend the base for now, but it's going to be tough.
The idea there from Harry was to take the... Oh, hold on.
Okay, double root here. Ryoma's coming in. He has Emperor's Divide. He has Flash.
Prismal.
If he wants to look for the sweep, they've cut off Armeo from Harry's line of sight. He can't get back. Harry is forced to go to the fountain to retreat.
That's it.
And Golden Guardians are pushing in for one final win. Harry has the ultimate. It would have to be a miracle play, but Prismal trying to stop him, looking for the ultimate, but Array is hitting the Nexus. It's Ayla as well. Do they have enough damage? Brahma gets handed out. Wait, Array, he needs to be able to lock it down. It's all the minions. Array, just 2 more on attack. Triple kill from Harry. The minions, can they end the game? Can they clear it out? It's going to be super close. There's a teleport from Concept. Even if minions don't clear it, there's Concept. He is 1 second. Send it, buddy. Send it. Teleport in there. Do it.
Press F. There's a ward.
There's a... they swept it out.
Weak. Come on, Concept.
Oh, man.
It's it. Bradley's up. There's displacement.
Concept
Get him
didn't
away.
believe. Man.
I guess he doesn't have that dog in him.
Okay. Yeah. It would have been hype as hell to see Concept end the game in style, but I think from Golden Guardians... Yeah, dude.
Open the gates.
Yeah, I think Golden Guardians know that
oh my God.
It's better to not throw the game when they are just one fight away from winning and taking a game off of the #1 Academy squad. So they want to make sure they... They're not going to get the flare points from me, but they're going to do it the safe way.
I mean, if Prismal wasn't gonna die in his debut as a support, he's got to die once, you know. That was our Prismal might be playing, support now, but you know we gotta have one death on the board here. As tried to find the fight, wasn't able to find it. Prismal has been very good at this game,
dude.
Especially outside the lane.
They could just walk in.
Yeah, they're just walking in. Here we go.
Just walk in.
Harry's trying to cut the wave. Yeah.
Harry's doing all that he can. If Concept gets in range of the Nexus, it's over. Oh, he carried him. He devoured him so he could carry him to the Nexus. It's a Nasus delivery system.
Open the
gates. King walk through. Stand aside.
Harry?
Harry's putting out a lot of damage there. It forces the Gargoyle Stone Plate out of Golden Guardians, but
that's it. Cute.
Boom. Bonk. Concept and Golden
Plus 50.
Guardians take a game off of Team Liquid.
Wow, what a statement from Golden Guardians. Again, a team that has struggled, got off to the worst start in Academy, took that break week, made changes. TSM buying out Shime or forced to find a support. I think Prismal was a no-brainer. Guy has the hands, has to pick up, he has the intangibles, has to learn the role. Ryoma stepping in. Why the hell was this guy not in Academy for the entire split in the first place? Was it a tough start for Golden Guardians? Yes. But did Golden Guardians utilize their comp, play it better than TL? Yeah. And TL, another game where it feels like they're going to say, we beat ourselves, we made mistakes, but how many times does TL have to say they beat themselves till we start to have to recognize, hey, maybe you're mid-game, maybe you do trip over your shoelaces trying to snowball it forward. It really felt like that was a game where that was the case for TL, and I want to see them try and clean that up. They're going to come back with a vengeance in the next one. I know that for sure, but man, what a game from Golden Guardians, and a chance to take down TLA 2-0. That's huge for them.
Yeah, even if you're punishing a complacent Team Liquid or an over a rushing Team Liquid, it's still something to be proud of for this squad.
They played good that game.
Yeah. Golden Guardians didn't just get handed the dub. They had to work it and they had to earn it as well. So good stuff for Golden Guardians. They lead this series 1-0. When we come back from the break, it is going to be Sierra and our halftime show. So stick around.